Saturday, the 13th of May, 2023, just gone 2:09 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend and time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. But before getting to the charts, just two personal updates. The first one is our time in Kauai has come to a close. We're kind of moving on, flying back to Australia in the next couple of days. If you're a follower of Emini-Watch or any length of time, you might know that we move around on a fairly regular basis every kind of 3 or 4 months. Always spending time in the same three places: the island of Kauai in Hawaii, then Australia, where we spend time in Byron Bay and Noosa, and then back to France, where we spend time in Biarritz. Chasing the waves, kind of trying to hit the season in all three locations. And I must admit, I'm always sad when I leave Hawaii. Hawaii's a beautiful place. This year was kind of strange because the weather was so unsettled. We had a lot of rain. But I think the weather was pretty unsettled in a bunch of places, so it is what it is. Looking forward to putting on a wetsuit and surfing the colder water in Australia in the next couple of days. So that's the first kind of personal note. The second one is to say I didn't get any complaints about the AI editing of last weekend's video. And I think it was okay. The quality was, kind of 70%. Wouldn't say it was kind of 90% or anything. Surprisingly good. But I'm hoping that the AI audio editing does get better over time. And I'm pretty keen to use tools like that to make the whole process of putting out videos easier and quicker. And you might see, if you're a subscriber by email, that the email might look a little bit different this time again, because I'm using another tool to send out the YouTube video notifications by email. And so some little subtle changes to the business are trying to make things a little bit kind of smoother. So there we go, personal updates done. Let us get to the charts, and another go nowhere week where we are waiting and waiting for some kind of break above 4,200. And my view is still the level that we need to break in order to show that we get into an uptrend. I've not changed my tune on that, but it's taken a while, and the longer the break takes, the longer the likelihood is that we'll miss our window and start to turn down from here. But let's see. I think we've still got a couple of days to go. This is the traditional setup of the better indicators, where we have two panels side by side, everything to do with volume on the left-hand side, everything to do with price on the right-hand side. With volume, we've got better momentum, which is a volume-based momentum indicator, and better pro-am, which shows us amateur in yellow and blue professional bars. And then on the right-hand side, plate of spaghetti below the price bars is better sine wave, which is calculating the cycles in 3 different time frames, and then breaks of those cyclical resistance and support levels gives us trending moves. And the background here on both charts is red because we're in an uptrend in terms of volume and price, although as you can see over the last 2 or 3 weeks we've kind of gone nowhere. We're sitting in this 150 point range just waiting for that break. And this level here, getting above the resistance on the highest time frame, is what we're searching for. We need this support to hold on the daily chart, this pullback level, which is at 40.62. If that gets broken to the downside, then we're going to go test into this region kind of down here. So that's super important. But if in the next couple of days we do get a break above this 41.95, the 4,200 level, then we're going to go look to the upside. But we're taking our time. And I'm just wondering if we can see any clues as we go down the time frames to see what's kind of going on. So the 135-minute chart, there are exactly 3 135-minute bars in a day session of the E-mini. You can see here the background is still red. We're in an uptrend. This level, that 40.62, which I was talking about, the support here on the daily chart, is super important. You can see here it's an intermediate trend support. So 40.62, that absolutely key level here. We've got the exhaustion buy getting the move going, and we're just rolling under the shadow of this blue professional bar, kind of taking profits here. We had some amateur bars a couple of days ago where we couldn't get through there and had a little bit of weakness. So I'm waiting for the break, but we're not getting it at the moment. 45-minute chart, next time frame down. Here you can see the blue professional bars that came in on these lurches down last time, and we're sitting underneath this resistance here, 41.67. We need to bust up through there to get this thing going. I talked about bullish divergence signals right on the 0 line and having to wait for flush signals after that. So you can see here we got rid of a whole bunch of sellers with an exhaustion sell pattern. Here we kind of bounced off the bullish divergence here, but we're coming down to form a flush pattern, and that's going to come in with some volume. It'll be fairly nasty, but not as bad as this reading on better momentum here. So let's wait and see if we get that. We've still this 40.62 level here. You can see absolutely key. If that gets broken to the downside, it's going to cause us to break into a trend move on the downside. So that's the worry. 15-minute chart. These solid yellow vertical lines show the beginning and the ends of the weeks. And you can see the week's activity was really compressed. I think we were only in a range of about 60 or 70 points, kind of top to bottom. Here are the blue professional bars coming in at the lows. There's a bullish divergence signal right on the zero line, and we wait for the flush pattern here, which came in. And we've tested that level twice now with a little bit of bullish divergence there at that point. So that's kind of a good sign. And on the 15-minute chart here, we have a triple. We always talk about big things happen at triples, and I like triples when they're fairly close together here, as they are. So we've got support on the low and the intermediate and the highest time frame, and that is holding at the moment, that area. So if that holds, we'll go up to test the highs of this range, and then the next level up is 4,200. So let's see if that holds. That gives us another level that's super important. Again, if a triple breaks into a downtrend, because the triple supports here, so this 4112 level here is absolutely key. So let's see if that kind of holds. That might be a better level. The 4062 is kind of down here. That might be a better level to play a little trending move on the downside if that gets broken on the 15-minute chart. Kind of wait and see. And then the tip bar chart here, you can see the highs and lows of the week, even during the after hours session here. 41.70 at the highs, 41.15 or so at the lows. So super compressed, 55 points top to bottom there. Any signals here? Nothing during the week here. We just kind of battered backwards and forwards in this range. On the tip bar chart, a little bit of weakness here. This is a stair-step trade. On the way down, we've got the background in grey, blue professional bars coming at the end of the day. We're selling down. We have blue professional bars taking profits a little bit there, weakness and so on. So jury's out. I'm less bullish than I was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, because we've not done anything in the meantime. So the longer the time we spend in congestion, the more time it allows for people to take positions, either short or long. And so when we finally get the break, they tend to be more kind of explosive because there's more volume that gets triggered with breaks up or down. So that's where we stand on the E-mini, giving you a couple of key levels there. And let's see what happens in the next couple of days. So tip bar charts now, where we look at the triple signals, and in general on these charts this week there wasn't a lot of signals being generated. We had some fairly big moves, but we actually didn't have signals to back them up. The euro got taken out on my stop on the euro. Unfortunately, I was long into this move here midweek, but got taken out my stop down here, and we've clinched down on the euro down to almost 8.5 down here. But we got super big volume coming in here at the end of the week, and we got a setup for a long signal here. Exhaustion sell bullish divergence comes in. That's one of the non-correlated indicators. We're oversold with the background in red, so that's better sine wave, another uncorrelated indicator. And we got blue professional bars come in here with the pro-am stair stepping down. So as soon as this level gets stair stepped down and we take it out, that'll give us a triple signal long on the euro. So we're going to look for that during this week. British pound, weakness this week. We topped out here at 26.8, but we didn't get a signal short. It was unfortunate. We were overbought at that level. We had blue professional bars here. We had exhaustion buy and bearish divergence, but it didn't trigger us into a short signal at that point because we had these little exhaustion sell bullish divergence signals that got in the way. So that's unfortunate. It didn't generate a signal, but you can see it's sold off pretty hard. No blue professional bars coming at the close on Friday because the better pro-am trailing stop is still some ways away. That needs to trail down before we get a signal on the British pound. Aussie dollar, weak as well. We got blue professional bars up here, overbought. No signal again because we had exhaustion sell bullish divergence come in here, so that didn't generate a signal, but it's very similar to the British pound chart. Then we've fallen off back to these levels down here. No exhaustion sell at the moment here. That was kind of getting the move going. Let's wait and see again if we get signal kind of midweek in the Aussie dollar. Japanese yen, we did get a nice signal this week here. So midweek we had exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, overbought. We broke a better pro-am on the way down, and that generated a nice signal there. And we've got continuation of that close on Friday, keep on going down. So that's good on the Japanese yen. And then on the E-mini, looking at the 13,500 2-bar chart for signals, it tried to signal long this week, but you can see here super junky activity. We're still potentially looking for a long trade because we've got exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence. We're oversold. If we break better pro-am, that's going to generate another signal long here at this point. So let's see. It's not all over on the E-mini, but bonds are coming off. So we had a signal beginning of the week that was a nice long signal, but it came into exhaustion buy and blue professional bars here. This was super high average trade size on the blue professional bars there. Fortunately, no signal because we got no bearish divergence at that point. We just sold off hard with an exhaustion sell, getting this move going. So I'm not sure if that's kind of worth revisiting in terms of recoding that, but the more you play around with optimizing code for these types of signals, just the more uncomfortable I am with it. So live with that for the moment, but that was signal to go short. And the average trade size, again, during this move here with the blue professional bars was pretty high. So we've got bonds culling off, which is potentially good for equities holding. And then gold and silver seem to be going in different directions. So here we've got, again, no signals on gold this week. Came up to 2060 to test. A whole bunch of blue professional bars came in. They sold it hard, bang, 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 keep on going down. So still in the downtrend with gold, nothing to hold it yet. But silver's kind of interesting because down at the bottom down here, we've had a triple signal at the end of the week. And we had a whole bunch of blue professional bars coming in here at 24 and a bit. So that's important. So let's see if that whole area, congestion area, holds. And we get a trade back above 24 and a half in order to get confirmation that that's the level at which silver's going to hold for the time being. And then Bitcoin. Bitcoin's traded down to 26 and a half down here. Super junky this week. This long trade didn't work out. Blue professional bars came in. You could have interpreted that as maybe a kind of breakout move, but it just immediately got sold down, bang, at that point. We've continued down. So we're under this whole cloud of trailing stop on better priams, and we've got no blue professional bars at the lows down here. So Bitcoin is not going to signal until we see those coming along. Crude. Now, crude strengthened after last week's signal. So we had this test down into 64 down here. Super important, the kind of crash low on crude. And we've come away from that quite a bit, but we're coming down to test into those lows between 68 and 70 where we are here. We've got blue professional bars come in. We've weakened from there. That whole area, if we break back above 72, 72 and a half, will be good for a continuation of crude. I think this move super important because it plumbs the lows and it starts to show us where the extremes are in this. So potentially this, if we get some strength this week, we've got crude starting to break into that confirmed uptrend. So natural gas this week, we had a signal short, but not a whole bunch of blue professional bars taking profits at that point. But we've got exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, blue professional bars here, broken above that little kind of congestion zone there. The reason that didn't signal, we didn't get oversold. That's an overbought signal at that point here. We didn't get a background in red. So actually natural gas is looking strong. And then copper. Copper, a nasty week this week. Sold off here, stair-step trade, blue professional bars kind of come in. We're down at the lows here, but no exhaustion sell down here. Only a few blue professional bars at those lows. So it's copper. You can see there's just not many signals happening this week. Corn. Corn very volatile this week. Blue professional bars at those highs, taking profits, kind of selling it down. So that's not good for corn at the moment. Soybeans, though, this is more interesting. We had a signal this week, a whole bunch of blue professional bars at those lows, which is nice. They buy that breakout pretty aggressively, but then it kind of goes down to test. So what that means is getting above the highs here, that will give us a clear signal that soybeans has bottomed with that activity, and a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of come in almost like a U-turn, but we'd be waiting for a break back above the highs of that little kind of grouping there. So that's soybeans, and then lastly, wheat. Wheat signaled short at the beginning of the week and sold off into these lows. No exhaustion sell at that point, so a little bit in no man's land in terms of wheat there. So there we go. You can see not a lot of signals on the charts this week. We're still in this kind of wait and see mode. I'm flat at the moment, taken out on that euro trade in a longer term position, long equities. And I'm happy to kind of sit through that, through some volatility to see where that goes. So I'm going to be flying Monday, Tuesday, and I would suggest people not have positions on when they're traveling. It's just too much stress. And I'm flat at the moment. I've got a long-term equities long position on, but nothing in terms of shorter-term trades. So let's wait and see. I'll be curious to see which way the market breaks Monday and Tuesday, because we've just been doing nothing for 2 weeks and we're building up that energy, kind of waiting for some kind of volatility to hit. So looking forward to see what happens next week, and good luck with your trading.